Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving deep today into Cal Newport's deep work. I know a lot of you are already familiar with the concept of why it's so valuable.
Absolutely.
So we're going to skip ahead to the good stuff, the how-to.
The actionable stuff.
Exactly. What are the actual strategies to, make this whole deep work thing actually work? In our world, it feels like.
Well, it feels impossible, right?
Yeah.
With all the distractions and the pings and the...
Oh my God.
But Newport lays out this framework, and it's interesting because one of the foundational pieces is this idea of embracing boredom.
Wait, hold on. Embracing boredom.
Yeah.
I'm all for focused work, but boredom, isn't that like the opposite of being engaged?
Right, it sounds counterintuitive. But the thing is, if we're constantly bombarding our brains with stimulation, checking our phones every 5 seconds, scrolling, liking,
Yeah.
we're never giving our minds a chance to actually strengthen their focus muscles. It's like, overtraining an athlete. You need those rest periods to get stronger. And it's the same with our minds.
Okay, I see what you mean. So, how do we put this into practice, though? I can't exactly just sit around being bored all day.
Of course not. It's about building up that tolerance,
Yeah.
right? So start small. Resist the urge to check your phone when you're in line at the grocery store or, take a walk without music or a podcast.
Oh, yeah. Just be present.
Exactly. Those little acts of resisting that quick hit of dopamine, they're actually training your brain for the deeper, more focused work.
That's a really good point. It's like building mental endurance, which
Mhm.
makes a lot of sense because deep work requires so much sustained mental effort.
Exactly. And once you've kind of built up that mental endurance, then Newport suggests taking it a step further, ritualizing your deep work.
Visualizing, what, like a whole ceremony to get into the zone?
Yeah, in a way, it's all about creating a consistent environment and routine that basically signals to your brain, okay, it's time to focus now.
Right, right.
So that could mean having a dedicated workspace, blocking off specific time in your day, or even having a certain playlist that you only listen to when you're doing deep work.
Makes sense. No more decision fatigue about when or where to work. Just follow the ritual.
Right. And, Newport himself has a pretty strict ritual. He always works in the same spot, same hours, same setup.
Works for him.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's incredibly prolific.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of distractions, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, social media. Newport's pretty firm on its negative impact, isn't he?
He is. He even suggests quitting social media entirely if it's not serving a specific intentional purpose in your life.
Wow.
His argument is that the way most of us use social media, it leaves this attention residue,
Attention residue.
which makes it really hard to fully focus on the more, cognitively demanding tasks.
Yeah, I get that. Quitting completely sounds tough, but even if we don't go that far, are there ways to use social media more intentionally?
Totally. It's all about mindfulness and strategy. Maybe you only check certain platforms at specific times. You curate your feeds to be more aligned with your goals. You set strict time limits. It's about reclaiming control.
Instead of letting the algorithms control you?
Exactly.
I like that. Reclaiming control. That actually reminds me of another one of Newport's strategies that, honestly, I thought was a little extreme at first. Scheduling every minute of your day.
It does sound intense, but remember, Newport's a huge proponent of planning, eliminating that decision fatigue. So by scheduling everything,
Yeah.
work, breaks, even leisure time, you're making these deliberate choices about how you spend your time.
Okay, so less about being rigid, more about intentionality.
Precisely. You design your ideal day, and then you live it out.
Makes a lot more sense now. It's being proactive instead of reactive, right?
Right.
So one last thing that really stood out to me was Newport's shutdown ritual. What's the thinking behind that one?
It's all about creating a clear boundary between work time and personal time. Think of it like a mental power down button for your workday.
Oh, okay. Could involve reviewing your accomplishments, planning for the next day, or just clearing your mind of any lingering work thoughts. So a distinct end to the workday to avoid that always-on feeling.
Exactly.
Do you have a shutdown ritual?
I do. I take a few minutes to tidy up my workspace, review my to-do list for the next day, and then I physically close my laptop. That's my signal that work is done. Time to shift gears.
I love that. This has been such a fascinating deep dive into deep work. I'm definitely walking away with a lot to think about.
Me too. It's so easy to get caught up in the why of deep work, but Newport really nails the how. He gives us these tangible strategies to actually use.
Absolutely. So for everyone listening, if you could implement just one of these strategies this week, which one would it be? What's one small step you can take today to reclaim your focus and really tap into the power of deep work? Until next time, happy deep working.
Happy deep working.